A little while ago, I brought a diamond into some Grand Champ lobbies, and that went about as well as you might expect. Obviously, the diamond was going to be outclassed by the Grand Champs, but when playing against a rank that is a higher level than you, it often does a very good job of exposing the mistakes you make a lot more often than when you're playing against your own rank. So today we'll be using one of those games to give this diamond some tips that will hopefully help him and many other players rank up in Rocket League. This is fine, pick up boost, yep, watch what Lepid's doing.
That was unfortunate, I remember that.
Yeah, so right here, it's a tough one to figure out for sure. I wouldn't mind, seeing as how you know you have a teammate coming back, if you would start to turn upfield, not fully dive into challenge, but just start to apply pressure. Because realistically, the speed of the ball is fully dependent on how fast the person's going who's on it. So if they're just floating through the air like this, yeah, they might get a touch that's going to get it over the top of you, but more than likely it is not ever going to be powerful enough to get all the way downfield past your other defender. So if you see your teammate coming back, that's normally your cue to go ahead and at least apply pressure to whoever's on the ball, just to make sure they do something. Obviously here, Lepid just chucks the ball away, and then Karkeys just absolutely flat out misses.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Karkeys to miss, especially since like GC, like that's like a diamond thing. And that's, like,
yeah. Back. But yeah, if you had just applied pressure early, the situation we would have found ourselves in, because we wouldn't have been in this spot, right? Because you would have been like up here maybe, you would have forced this out, and then because of your awkwardness to how close you were, maybe you try to go for the shot, but more than likely you probably just leave. But yeah, either way, if you're pushed further forward, even in this area, we don't end up in this position. So yeah, just realize a teammate coming back means we can at least apply pressure. Don't need to fully dive, but pressure is always good. So this is a confidence thing for sure. As you get more confident, we just need to recognize the situation we're in and recognize when we have an opportunity to go for the ball. So we know a teammate's back over this way. Lepid, we can already tell, is going for the mid boost. That is to be expected. Karkeys is also on his way in. The last thing we want to do, though, is leave this ball for free, just because we don't want to give them the opportunity to take this into the air and be any more dangerous than they have to. Based on how this ball is bouncing, it's going to land somewhere around here-ish, and we can tell it's going to bounce off the ground with the way it's going. So just being confident in the fact that you can move forward on this, because these guys are kind of in awkward spots. We have an opportunity to challenge a ball here, so we probably should take it instead of being a bit fearful of what they're going to do. Because even if you don't actually jump at it, once again, even if you're just here and you don't feel like you can actually read it, just being here is going to deny them from necessarily doing what they want to do, because they have to deal with you first. Because you're just awkwardly sitting there, so they have to think about what you're doing. Instead of just being like, oh, cool, free ball, we can do whatever we want. They would have to think, oh, what if he touches it? Yeah, because then you just get yourself stuck in an awkward spot on defense. So the best play here is to go. If you're not going to go, the last thing you should do is this. Because now you've killed all your momentum, you're facing the play, and this ball is probably about to go over your head. So for you to be able to make any play from this position is really difficult. Heck, Karkeys probably could have even shot this to like top corner here, and there's no way you're saving it. So if I'm you, if I'm not going for this, I'm gonna swing wide this way and like face the net coming from this corner, so that I can either A, drive up the backboard if need be, or I can jump out to defend as well. It's just all about trying to give yourself the most options to defend a play. By positioning yourself here, you've pretty much given yourself one option, and it's, boy, I hope he shoots it right at me, because I have no lateral movement whatsoever. There's no way you're covering anything laterally from this spot. Whereas positioning here, you give yourself coverage of the entire net because you're facing it, you give yourself coverage of the backboard, and you give yourself coverage of jumping out towards the ball if need be, based on what Karkeys does. And as soon as Karkeys plays it up like this, you would just immediately be able to drive up the backboard and get the clear. Or at least a touch, instead of having to awkwardly jump from the ground. So again, we have another hard drift turn here, and this is, again, just going to the net too early.
Yeah, it's a swinging wide, yeah.
Yep. Back here, because again, if we're looking this way, now when Keys does whatever it is he's doing, look at the angle we'd have to go attack this ball. It'd be much easier from this angle than from here. Because when this ball comes out, it's probably best to just go challenge this ball fast, because we don't want to allow him time to actually control it. Because if we just have two players stacked up in net, and then Lepin can just do whatever he wants with the ball. But if as soon as we see this pass, if we're just going now, Lepin doesn't really have much time to do anything, and he's either going to get hard blocked by us, or he's going to get a really poor touch. If he somehow gets the ball around us and maintains control of it enough to score, hats off, well done. Like, you've earned that one, but this is the space we want to cut down as much as possible, because players are only dangerous when they actually have time on the ball. If you eliminate their time, it's much more difficult for them to do anything with it. Luckily, he fumbles the catch, so it works out. But this is, again, identifying where the play is going. We're currently driving directly at where the ball is. Our path is here when the ball is going over here. So just be aware. We don't want to worry about where the ball is. We want to know where it's going, and we want to position for that. Because if we drive this way, we're going to have a challenge here instead of the ball just being over our heads. Because the ball is going to the corner. So if we're just already heading to the corner, this is a free touch. And now, look at the awkward positioning of the defense. If you're coming from here, and you're able to hit this ball back off the corner, back into the midfield, this is a lot harder for them to deal with than just the ball being over the top. This is an awkward ball for sure. Good block. This is definitely a confidence thing, because I see that you want to go for this. Like, you know that this is a ball that you should go for, but you don't trust yourself to get this touch. And that is totally understandable. If you want to get better at reading the bounces on the ball, first of all, free play, just banging the ball around as hard as you can and trying to go for the ball as quickly as possible is your best friend.
I've been doing that lately, and I think I've actually been, like, improving because of it.
Yeah, it is so helpful, just because you'll get used to reading bounces. But secondly, as much as teammates love to flame people for making mistakes, you don't solo queue, right? You queue with a teammate.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to just go for it. Like, if it's a ball that your head is telling you, hey, you should go for that, it's probably a ball that you should go for, and you should just trust your ability to get it. If you misread it, so what? Who cares? Whoop-de-doo, we misread a ball. But now, you've gathered some information so that the next time you see the same bounce, you know what not to do. And you'll slowly get more and more used to reading awkward bounces. I'd rather try and miss and learn from it than to just always sit in an area where I'm comfortable. Because at a certain point, where you're comfortable is not going to be good enough to rank you up. You're going to have to push yourself outside of that comfort zone in order to get to where you want to be. So, confidence and just jump. Because, realistically, jumping and missing in this instance is still better than jumping too late. Because imagine if you get beat here, the ball's just over the top, it's just in the net, because your teammate's here. But, if you jump, even if you're gonna miss, this guy's gotta react to the fact that you're in the air. He can't just jump because you're already up. So if he's worried about being beat, then he's just not gonna go, and even that will buy your teammate time to get back, which is better than nothing. So we have to realize that whatever we do on the field is gonna cause a reaction from the defense in some way. They're gonna have to respond to us, even if we don't end up doing exactly what they want. What we want to do, they still need to be worried about what exactly we're doing. So right here, I don't mind the patience because you see your teammate cut across and you don't know exactly what they're doing and who knows what clear is about to come out, so I don't mind you just sitting here. That's smart overall. As soon as this ball comes over the top, this is when we just need to kind of identify how much time we have and make sure that we're using it to the best of our ability. So as this ball bounces back, we have two choices. One of which I think is better than the other, and it's what I would go for just based on how the ball is bouncing. The two options are either A, we get on this side of the ball over here, and we hit it back into our own half and try to keep control. Or B, we know for a fact that someone's gonna be coming. So yes, we have a free ball here, but we have to go fast enough. Where if you swing wide and cut around, you're able to put it back over here, rather than just kind of awkwardly sitting alongside it. And that's probably what I would recommend, is just realize, okay, we have a little bit of time, but not as much as we'd probably like, because they're going to be coming. And utilize the time we do have to get around the ball, and then whatever touch we can get to pop it back downfield is good enough. Because we also have 2 defenders chasing. And our goal right now is to make sure that this ball does not get past us, especially before our teammate can recover. So we are just going to get up and get any touch we can to delay time. So that's what I would recommend in that situation, so that you don't give up the free touch. Good attempts here. This is a bit of hesitation, just not trusting yourself to read this bounce initially, because you do wait for it to come off. As you go for this, and this is all about reading where the opponent's coming from. We know defender coming this way, so they're gonna be on this side of the ball. I am going to try to the best of my ability to put this around the challenge, because I don't want a 50-50 if I can avoid it. So I'm going to try to play it around where this defender's coming from. So if they're coming from here...
Like off the wall?
Yep, I'm trying to play it this way. Because at the very least, that takes one out of the play, and basically puts yourself and your teammate in a 2v1 situation. Which is what we want to be doing. Because you do win this ball if you just hit it to the wall. Heck, you're even in a position where if you jump on top of the ball, you can even roll it up the wall and maintain possession. Which is, like, the perfect world, but hitting it around the defender is still better than taking the challenge. And you can see the open area that exists over here if we had just hit the ball that way instead of this way. Alright. Rocket League ends up being a game of not necessarily playing the ball, like, directly towards the opponent's net or even towards the opponent's half. It really is a game of getting the ball around these guys. Because putting the ball into the net is a thing that can happen once these guys are gone. These guys are out of the play, then we can just put the ball in the net nice and easy. So realistically, our goal should be to get rid of these guys, and then we can worry about scoring. So be careful of this positioning. As this ball comes over to the side, what we should be doing right now is really looking for pads. We want to make sure that we have the resources to make a play with, because what's going to end up happening is this ball is going to go back into the sidewall. We're going to just drive forward with 12 boost, and now we're just in the same spot as our teammate. And neither of us have boost to do anything. So we found ourselves in a really bad spot. And we don't really want to be here, because now we're just both, like, awkwardly driving back towards the net with almost nothing. And Lepid does that, of course.
Yeah.
This is probably... Yeah, this is probably another confidence thing. And just identifying what's happening. And I know this is not normally going to happen, but your teammate is currently dribbling the opponent. He's just pushing him out of the way. So theoretically, we know, okay, this guy's probably not going to be much of a factor. With that in mind, we see this ball come off the sidewall. This is key point. Like, okay, this guy's on the wall. The ball's bouncing this way. This guy's just gotten bumped. We're down by 3 with 40 seconds left. You know what? This is the one moment where we're just gonna full send at this thing. Like, we have the boost. Let's just try. Because if we win this ball, it is just a wide open net. And we're chilling. And based on the positioning of the opponents, it seems like one that we can actually attempt to go for. A lot of decisions that we make, especially late in the game, are going to be dependent on time and score. When I see down 3, 40 seconds left, I'm going to look for the first opportunity that presents itself for me to try to challenge the ball to try to give us a chance. Because otherwise, we're just continuing to let them do what they want, which is delay time. Their only goal at this point is let's run the clock and make sure that we don't give up opportunities. But if we can find them in an awkward spot and capitalize on it, that's always a great feeling. Overall confidence in just trying to go for things. It can be really challenging to trick your brain into just deciding to go. But generally, whatever your first thought is, that's probably what you should just do. And the longer you sit there and debate yourself on whether or not you should go for something, the more time you're just giving your opponents to get into a better spot and win the ball off of you when you could have had a free touch. There is certainly a lot that separates Diamond players from players in Grand Champion, but there is little things that you can adjust about your game that will make a huge difference overall. The biggest tip above anything else is being patient and using that patience to read the game. You don't want to end up rushing around the field because you often will put yourself out of position. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to how the ball is moving around the field, where the ball is most likely to go, and when you're going to make quick movements, you want to make them decisively and with a purpose. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you that made it to this point in the video. If you'd like a replay analysis of your own, feel free to head over to my Discord, which I'll have linked down in the description, as I do offer free coaching over there. I do hope that this video was helpful and that you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below, so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.